The New York Jets close out their season against the Miami Dolphins. We're going to preview it. Hey, what's going on? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Before we get started today, you guys know the drill. Follow on socials, Matt O'Leary NY. Also, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. We also have the Jet Report Monday to Thursday. Check it out. It's a ton of fun. We love hanging out with all you at 2 p.m. every Monday to Thursday. Okay, so it's the 7-9 New York Jets freshly eliminated versus the 8-8 Miami Dolphins, the beat up Miami Dolphins. Let's go through where these teams rank in DVOA. Offensive DVOA for the New York Jets is 25th. The Miami Dolphins are 5th in the NFL. Defensively, very different. Jets 6, Miami Dolphins 17. So who has the edge here? We'll get into all of that. But before we do, we have the Mojo Spotlight. Mojo, if you don't know, is the player stock exchange for the NFL. They also have college draft prospects. Yes, we're almost at that time of year. I am amped up to get into that. But the guy I'm looking at is someone who's not going to play in this game, but is someone who you might want to think about because of what they could do next year and beyond. And that's Breece Hall, who is at $11.88 right now. I love Breece Hall with all my heart. I miss him very, very much. The Jets were 5-2 with Breece Hall and 2-7 without Breece Hall this year. So I would very much so like Breece Hall to come back and run for my favorite football team. And if you think he's going to continue to perform well, now might be the time to get in on him while you can over at Mojo. Link to sign up is down below in the description. Well, this one doesn't really mean a whole lot for the New York Jets. Thankfully, there's only one game this year that doesn't really have meaning, which is a significant improvement, but still kind of hard to get any sort of energy or positive feeling going into this one. There is no Tua, no Teddy Bridgewater, so it will be Skylar Thompson who's getting first team reps with the Miami Dolphins this week. You might remember Skylar Thompson from the first time these two teams played. Now, if you remember, Tua got hurt early on in the year. It was going to be Teddy Bridgewater. Pretty much first play of the game, Sauce Gardner blows him up with a massive, massive hit and knocks him out of the game. And Skylar Thompson comes in and, well, wasn't very good. 19 of 31. Zero touchdowns, 1 interception. Last week when he came in again in relief of an injured Teddy Bridgewater, 12 of 21, 104 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Not a very good quarterback. Obviously, that doesn't really seem to impact the Jets, though, because they haven't been able to score. We're going to get more into that in a second here. The Jets defense should be fine against him. They created turnovers against Thompson. They created turnovers against Trevor Siemian when they went against him for the Chicago Bears. Outside of that, they haven't really created turnover since the bye. So can they get that today or this week? I think they have a good chance to, but I'm not going to hold my breath over it. As for a couple of notes for the Jets and then, some things to look for in it, who starts at quarterback for the New York Jets is still a question as of recording this. I think it's going to be Mike White. You can make a case for pretty much all the four, and I guess I'll do the pros and the cons to starting all the four. We'll start with Mike White. He performed probably the best. Actually, not probably. He definitely was the best quarterback on the Jets this year. The reason why not to play him, injury. I don't know if he's 100%. He didn't look good last week, and I think the ribs could still be an issue there. Zach Wilson, the game doesn't matter. If you lose, who really cares? See what you have. Is a pro to starting him. Con, are you only doing more damage to his confidence by continuing to throw him out there when he very clearly needs a reset? I think he needs an off season before you can even think about putting him back on the field right now because of just how bad it was against Detroit and Jacksonville. Chris Streveler for laughs. That's why you start Chris Streveler. He can't really throw the ball, but he was fun when he came in against Jacksonville. So there's one reason. And Joe Flacco, I feel like it's elder abuse to start Joe Flacco. Can't move, fumbles every time he gets hit. He has 7 turnovers in 3 games and 3 snaps. I'm all good. I hope it's not Flacco. Probably not going to be Streveler. I think it's between White and Wilson, and I would lean that it's going to be Mike White this week. But nothing that any of the 4 quarterbacks are going to do is really going to influence what I think the Jets should do at the quarterback position in this game. I think all that, and nor should you let a meaningless Week 18 game sway your opinion drastically one way or the other on someone. The other thing that we can talk about is, should you be rooting for a Jets win or a Jets loss? I have made it pretty clear on Twitter, if you follow me, that I am going to just go numb. I don't really care one way or the other what happens. The pro to winning is knocking the Dolphins out of the playoffs, not finishing in last place, getting back on track, positive momentum, any of those things. You want to ending the losing streak. All those things are positives. The negative is you negatively impact your draft stock. If you lose, positively impact your draft stock, but you lose 6 straight games to end your season. It doesn't really matter to me where they're picking in the draft, which is, I guess, in a way kind of crazy because I like covering the draft. That's one of the things that I like to do when we get into this time of year, but it's up to Joe Douglas to find someone, whether they're picking 10th, 13th, 15th, 17th, wherever they end up, somewhere in between that 10 and 17 range. He's got to find someone. And it's not like 2020 when you're tanking for a quarterback. You're not, trying to get a number 1 overall pick here. We're talking about the 10th pick versus the 17th pick. You're going to end up somewhere in the middle of the first round, roughly, probably. I'm not going to lose sleep over a win or a loss in Week 18 and picking 10th or 17th. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to allow myself to get bent out of shape one way or the other over a win or a loss at this point. Just not going to let it happen. As for the Jets offense, their DVOA is now down to 25, but they've scored 0 touchdowns in the last 2 games. 6 points against Seattle and 3 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not good enough. Just not good. Hopefully they perform better. I think they will, but it's not like any of these defenses that they were going up against the last few weeks have been good. Detroit defense, abysmal. Jacksonville's defense stinks. Seattle's defense stinks. Miami's defense is okay. I don't know we don't know who's going to start yet, so I'm shrugging my shoulders because, again, it doesn't really matter what they do. I just hope that they can put up some points. I'm not holding my breath on that. I think it's going to be a sloppy one this week. Spoiler. When I get to my picks portion, I think it's going to be a sloppy one. Something else you could watch for a positive is, can Garrett Wilson or Sauce Gardner increase their opportunity to win Rookie of the Year? That's something that you can keep an eye on. The young guys. Also in this game, watching Jets who could potentially be playing their last game as a Jet. Some names to just rattle off the top of my head: Corey Davis, George Fant, Carl Lawson, McGovern, Tomlinson, maybe Flacco, White, Wilson. Are any of those 3 on the quarterback room? Are they returning? Are they coming back? Mosley, maybe. Quincy Williams, guys like that. So keeping an eye on that, seeing who is going to come back and who we might be saying goodbye to in green and white at the end of this year. As for the stat predictions, I'll give you 2. Since we don't know who's playing quarterback, I won't do that. Instead, I'll talk about Garrett and Sauce. Garrett, I'm going to say 5 catches, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. Sauce Gardner picked off Skylar Thompson earlier in the year. I think he gets his, 3rd interception on the year? And I think he picks off Skylar Thompson in this one. So Sauce Gardner ends his season with a pick. Pretty nice close to the season for both those guys. As for the picks against the spread, all right, 7-9 against the spread, picking Jets games this year, not the greatest. I'm going to say Jets plus 1.5. Why? I don't know. I just have no faith in Skylar Thompson doing anything against this Jets defense. I don't think they're going to score a lot. I think it's going to be an ugly, low-scoring game. Most people are rooting for them to lose, so the Jets probably will win. Again, don't have a feel one way or the other. Jets win 16-9. There we go. A 16-9 clunker to close us out. Feels just right after this 5-game losing streak. Let's go to Casey and see who she likes in this one. Casey is also on the Jets, by the way, 9-7. So she's going to be clinching. She already clinched a winning record on the season. Will it be 9-8? Will it be 10-7? We'll find out later this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Once again, I am Matt O'Leary. Subscribe here if you are new, and I will talk to you next time.